What's going on, everyone? I'm your boy Hamza here. Welcome to another episode of the Hammy Takes Pod. I'm joined here with my co-host Mina, even though his mic is currently muted right now. Um, but today, we have two very special guests, and if you could tell by just looking at the screen with the gear that these boys are repping, including myself, this is going to be probably my favorite episode of this whole podcast that I'm recording, and I'm very excited for this. But without further ado, guys, welcome my co-host Mina, and then welcome our two awesome guests, the man, the myth, the legend himself, my boy Jake Talk Sports, who is also a Drew Lock enthusiast, and then my man NFLSteven. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. I just got off work, so chilling.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. What about you, Jake?
Jake is not talking.
Jake, I cannot hear you.
Jake is silent as hell.
I'm good. Uh, you know, I would like to point it out for the record that I do own a Packers jersey. However, it is in the back of my car, and the reason why I don't—it's a long story, but my car broken in the shop. Don't have jersey because jersey's in the back of said car. So,
Oh no.
long story short, I'm not wearing Packers merch, but I got the Rodgers fat head behind me. So
There you go.
got
There
something.
you go. Hey, that's something to represent. That's doing good.
Wait, hold up, dude. I was talking that whole time and nobody stopped me.
Bro, how am I
Before
supposed to know?
before we even started recording, bro, I was talking that whole time. Man,
I did not hear you. We couldn't even
this
tell,
is
dog.
crazy.
I couldn't even-
Whatever.
I
Wow.
didn't even tell that you were talking.
All right, whatever.
I-
Whatever.
yeah.
Fun.
Oh
okay.
man.
I'll
So
remember this.
we've kind of been playing this episode for weeks, but this is kind of perfect timing because our the greatest quarterback, greatest player in our franchise history has been traded to the Jets and end of an era. So now we have going on to the Jordan Love era. And you guys tell I am wearing his jersey, and um it is pretty depressing for me right now, but I'm going to get over it as much as possible. But I am excited for Aaron going to New York. He definitely deserves to get another shot for a Super Bowl. Um, but I'm also pretty excited to see the future of the Packers. Uh, Jordan Love, how he can be as a starter going forward, and how this roster is going to be. So I think that's a good place to talk about. How do you guys feel about the current state of the Packers after the Rodgers trade?
Wait, hold on. Before we start, can I just make a joke real quick?
Go for it. Go for it.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Oh,
Just
sir.
give me a second, bro.
Oh,
This was Jake before the podcast.
Where are you sending this?
I'm sharing my screen. Is it not showing?
Oh.
oh, I gotta add it. I gotta add it to the stream. I need to see it. I can't see it though.
Anyways.
you know, it is. I mean, it's. I think it's justified to be optimistic. I think that I said this all off season. I think it was the right decision to trade Rodgers. I think after the way he's played these past few years, this is the highest value we were going to get for him in the next few years. Like, I'm not expecting this guy to come out and win MVP for the Packers next year if he had played. I think that the way he's been playing, that's the highest trade value you're going to get for him. If we traded him next year, I don't know. We probably would have gotten probably wouldn't have even gotten the pick swap. So.
Right.
I think it was a good idea, and the roster, I don't think is that terrible. There are a few position groups that are pretty weak, but that defense is still very, very good, and it will probably get better tomorrow night, I hope, or the next coming days. But in reality, if Jordan Love is a solid starter, then they're competing for the division. They are. I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins and is mid, and Jared Goff is mid, and Justin Fields is on the rise, but still kind of mid, and if Jordan Love is a halfway decent starter, this team competes for the division. I think that's not entirely unrealistic to say, because the Lions, they're good. That defense is still really, really shaky though, and the Vikings, The Vikings are like the biggest frauds in NFL history. We know this. And the Bears are the Bears. We'll be fine. We're winning the division. Probably not, but Jordan Love is if he's at least salvageable, I would say we compete for the division at least for like the first 10 weeks.
Speaking of division, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. The AFC East is the most competitive division Rodgers has ever played in.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yep, I can get behind
15
that.
years of starting, the NFC North has never been on the level of the AFC East right now.
That is true. But I will say though, like Rodgers on the Jets, like you could probably say they're favorites, and I'm gonna put them as favorites. Probably.
I don't think they're favorites over Buffalo. I think Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's better than Aaron Rodgers right now. So
I will get behind that.
I think they have the advantage at quarterback. I think they have the advantage at their receivers are better. Their tight end is better. Their offensive line is. Our offensive line could even be argued better because the Jets tackles are trash until maybe tomorrow.
They are trash. And I do think
the Jets defense is top 5, and that's where they have the Bills. But the Bills defense like the best defense in football like throughout the regular season before everybody got hurt. So like I buy into this idea that maybe they're Super Bowl contenders, but to pick them over Buffalo for the division is still a little bit of a stretch for me. As also, I don't really know how much I trust Robert as the head coach yet.
Honestly though, Miami could have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense next year.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah.
Miami's going anywhere. If Tua is healthy, that team can beat literally anybody, and they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Tua is a healthy quarterback. No team in the NFL is a guaranteed win over them. The Patriots, whatever. The Patriots have the worst quarterback in the division.
We can all agree the Patriots are going to suck. Are not going to win.
The Patriots are going to win like 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
But I mean, this division will almost definitely. I think one of the top 3 teams is probably going to end up missing the playoffs because of how competitive the AFC as a whole is. It'll probably be the Dolphins by the end of it because Rodgers is Rodgers and he'll probably clutch up. But
that's true. I will say though, like the Jets kind of are shaky and their defense is awesome, but I do feel like with Rodgers, like you got the advantage, and the Jets were that close to making the playoffs, even with Zach Wilson. It was that exact same roster.
I assume they'll make playoffs, but winning the division, I don't know yet.
And I am kind of little iffy on Buffalo. I do think Buffalo might take that division, but there is levels to be concerned with Buffalo because I kind of don't like their offensive line a little bit. I do think they might do it. Josh Allen is better than Aaron Rodgers. I will be as a Rodgers fan myself, I will be the one saying this. Stephon Diggs is better than Garrett Wilson at this point, and Jets kind of do have a nice receiving core, and I'm not a big Gabe Davis person. Dawson Knox is the better tight end than Tyler Conklin.
But I also think I probably trust Rodgers more in clutch situations than I trust Josh Allen.
Yeah, same here.
Josh Allen has the bozo gene in him for sure. Like the moments where he'll throw a ball and it'll just land perfectly in the lap of a safety. And what are you doing? Like Rodgers doesn't do that. Like the only person who's picked off Rodgers like that is who was that one safety for the Lions that did it 3 times last year?
Kirby Joseph.
Was it Kirby Joseph? Then the Aiden Hutchinson pick, whatever. But still, I think Rodgers. I don't know, man. I'll miss him, but it was time. It was time.
It was time, and I'm happy for Rodgers.
I'm still so pissed he tried to throw it to David Bakhtiari. That was not a play that should have been wrong.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that play at all. I was like,
it's moments like this where we miss Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and I kind of saw Theo Ash's video of him talking about Russell Wilson and Hackett's scheme, and I kind of do at some point agree with him. I'm not gonna lie, because Hackett's scheme was not bad, but.
Okay, if you want to hear my take on this, Russell Wilson stinks. He stinks.
I'm starting to lose.
He's not that good of a quarterback anymore, and he is the things the main criticism of him last year is he didn't make his reads right and he didn't throw the open man. He literally didn't. You watched this dude play last year. He's just not himself. He stinks. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want about the quarterbacks in the AFC. He's the worst. He might be the worst quarterback in the AFC West. I might take Jimmy G. I might take Jimmy G.
Hmm.
Jimmy G's a game manager. He can win you football games. Russell Wilson was actively losing them football games last year.
That is true. I will be the.
I mean,
like,
hey,
The way
I
you let Russell Wilson play football is you literally just let him play football.
yeah, but like,
Yeah,
I
play
don't
out of
even think.
structure.
I don't even. Yeah. But that's Sean Payton's not letting that slide. He's not going to be
No.
like, Russ will do whatever you want. He's going to be like, Russ, we're doing this, and if you don't, I'm going to be very mean to you.
Well,
Like,
who do they
Yeah.
sign? They're gonna start the
Like, no, Russ, you're getting benched for Jarrett Stidham.
yeah.
If you don't do what I
yeah,
ask
you're
you to
getting
do.
benched for Jarrett Stidham. He'll probably do it at
Yeah.
some point, but yeah, forget what we were talking about. The Packers next year.
I hope Russ gets back on track, but like it's not just this year, but like even the season before when Russ got back from the injury, and he didn't look that good either. And I'm kind of really am concerned, and I'm starting to lose faith in Russell Wilson. As someone that did defend Russell Wilson last offseason, saying that he was the most disrespected quarterback, and now that actually aged perfectly. So, but
Yeah,
I mean, you could talk. I mean, I do. Russ did play bad, but then also like he's not the guy you're gonna play in structure. And they try making Russ play in structure, but he's so good when he's out of structure. And like if Denver is not letting Russ play out of structure, then yeah, it's another disaster. And I'm gonna hate to say it. Like I do trust Sean Payton, but then again, Russ has to fix himself. Well, that's the number one thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But like,
it
as far as like the Packers next year go,
yeah.
I think like I don't know. Like I am so torn on what they should do tomorrow night. Like I'm very excited to see what happens. Like I'm very excited for the draft. But like I
Yeah.
don't know, dude, because like our corners kind of stink and our defensive line
Yeah.
kind of stinks. And
Yeah, that's and I hate that I gotta say this, but like
our safeties stink.
as of this moment, like I feel like we're finishing dead last in that division. And you don't
I don't
think
think we
so?
finished below Chicago. I really don't think Chicago is going to be that great next year. They still have a ways to
I
go,
don't think
man.
they're
That
gonna be
roster is terrible. Dude,
it's
who's
terrible.
on that roster? Who's on that offensive line? Who's on that defensive line? Like, sure,
I mean, see
like they're
that's the
like,
thing
how
though.
many
And
day
like
one starters are they going to get in the draft? They're going to have a lot of draft picks, but how many day one really good starters are they going to get in the
yeah,
draft?
that's a
Probably not
point,
that
and
many.
I am gonna side you with that one. But then again, like Chicago has the advantage of quarterback. They have the advantage of weapons as of now. Well, DJ
Eh,
Moore, and you can
DJ
argue
Moore,
Mooney, but I don't know. Or Claypool. Maybe,
we'll have to
yeah,
check
you
that out.
can, but DJ Moore is the only one that you could say is probably the only legitimate option. And then Komet's the better tight end.
But the Packers
And
defense is miles ahead of the Bears defense
yeah,
right
I will
now.
give him that. As much shit as we give Joe Barry, Packers defense at this moment's better than Chicago's. Then again, I mean, the Bears did make some improvements. They signed some linebackers, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. So, so let's see what they do in the draft. The draft is going to change stuff. And then obviously the post June 1st free agency. I mean, anything can change.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I'm not saying that like the Packers definitely won't. I mean, there's definitely a chance that they end up falling to last, but like I
I
don't
can
know,
see a
man.
chance. I It's
The
just
Packers
like
are the Packers. Finishing last in the division is just not something that they do like ever.
they
Like I
don't
know they've
do
had
it.
Aaron Rodgers. They didn't finish last in the division the years Rodgers broke his collarbone.
Yeah,
They
they didn't
still
finish.
like didn't lose the division then.
Yeah,
Like and Jordan Love's better than like Matt Flynn, I think. Maybe. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know anything about
I would
Jordan
hope
Love.
he's better than Matt Flynn.
If he's
Um,
not, we got a problem,
if
dog.
or
if
Tim
I,
Boyle
if
or
we don't
Deshaun Kaiser or Brett Hundley.
if we don't take
Yeah.
a DB at 13, I think I'll be somewhat upset. I feel like DB is the
Okay.
need.
Well, to be fair, if Gonzalez, Witherspoon, and Branch are all gone, which definitely was
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
possible,
I would not be mad
Joey
personally.
Porter Jr. is the only guy where I'm considering there. But like Branch is probably going at 10. As much as I hate to say that, it's Branch or Brajan at 10. I would pick Branch. Christian Gonzalez are going to the Lions. Devon Witherspoon's probably a Falcon or a Raider.
And I
I'd
just
be
got a
fine with
note.
Porter. I'd be fine.
And I
With
just
I'd
got
be
a
fine with Porter, but
notification about.
do you want Porter or do you want JSN? Like I think I like JSN better as a
I think
prospect.
JSN's going at 12, Texans,
Ooh.
or 11 to the Titans.
I see it. I can see that. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
and
lie.
or 8
That's
to the
if
Falcons.
that's
even.
if Houston takes quarterback at 2, though. That's if Houston takes quarterback at 2.
I don't think. Okay. Also, like this isn't. I mean, like I don't think that Houston takes a quarterback in this draft period. I mean, maybe like 6th or 7th, but like
I'm starting to lose
I
faith
think if
too.
they're because like the one thing is like you can't just bank on a quarterback falling in the NFL draft. Like
You can't.
if they're gonna take a quarterback, it will be at 2. Like they're
It
not just gonna
has to
be
be at
like,
2.
oh, Will Levis will be there at 12. We'll be fine, and then the Titans will be like,
No, some
we're
team's
taking
gonna
them.
trade up and
Or
get
some team's going
Levis,
to trade up
or
and jump them, or the Titans will take them at 11 or something. Like, you
Yeah.
can't bank on that. And
you
so,
can't do it. You
I mean,
can't
there are a
wait on
ton of guys
quarterback.
I would like for the Packers. I mean, Lucas Van Ness, I'd be okay with that. He can play 3 tech.
I
He
would
can
too.
also
Yeah.
can play edge. Kalijah Kancey can play edge in a 3-4 defense.
Mhm.
Joey Porter Jr., good corner. I mean, Devon Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez could also be there. JSN, be fine with that. Be fine with one of the tight ends. I wouldn't hate that because we have no tight ends, and
Yeah.
weapons are good for a young quarterback. So
Right.
the only picks I
I'm-
would be furious. The only pick I would be actually like devastated about is Miles Murphy or Cam White. Anybody
those
else,
two.
I
I
can
would
probably
hate it.
see an argument.
I think
Yeah.
this.
I wouldn't mind Nolan Smith there too if he was there.
This pass catching
Nope.
class is pretty deep, so
Mhm.
I don't think they go.
That's true.
I still think they skip on receiver or tight end in the first round. I think we.
You know what
Yeah,
I feel like they're doing?
And that would be less egregious than last year because last year's wide receiver class was not that deep. So we were like, why wouldn't you
Right.
take one? But
Yeah.
this year you're like,
Right.
oh, we'll get Xavier Hutchinson or Parker Washington or Jaden Reed or like one of those guys or Michael Wilson or something like that. Or with the tight ends, like, oh, we'll get Sam Laporta or Luke Musgrave
Right, yeah,
or
yeah.
Darnell Washington even.
Yeah.
Darnell
Which is
Washington
kinda
is just
been
younger, cheaper Mercedes Lewis. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll take that.
Which is
but-
kind of like my theory, like when I've been mocking for the Packers, like I've kind of waited tight end in the second round because like knowing like tight ends are not going to go that
Yeah,
early in the
Musgrave,
first round.
Kraft, Laporta,
Like they
any
can
of
all,
those
they're
guys in
all
the
going
second,
in second.
completely fine.
They're going
Yeah.
day 2. So it's like the Packers can definitely address that in day 2. Day 1, I feel like the Packers could use a premium pick on like a premium position if they wanted to. And I think at 13, like the fact that we swapped with the Jets with that pick, I'd probably see the Packers. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers do this. They might pick a tackle here, an offensive tackle. I can
Okay,
see
fine.
it.
I mean,
with
let's
it.
be honest. Okay,
You think
Bakhtiari
so?
is old and
Yeah.
literally is never healthy.
That's the
and
problem.
The
That's
right
why I'm saying
side, I don't even know. I don't even know who's our right tackle right now.
I think
One.
it's Zach Tom, if I'm not mistaken. But Zach
Is-
Tom's, I like Zach Tom's potential.
Yeah, but you got to have
Yeah.
somebody behind Bakhtiari. Like a Paris
You got-
Johnson Jr.
yeah,
is there
for
at
sure.
13.
You take him, dog. I would be happy with Paris Johnson at 13.
Here's the thing, though. Are we willing to watch Tarvarius Moore play safety?
Okay, I will say that. I mean, let me clarify this. If
Yeah.
Brian Branch is there,
You take him.
done deal. You take him.
You gotta take him.
But
You gotta take
I
Branch.
have kind of convinced myself that he will not be. Just so I'm not setting my expectations too high. But if he's there at 13, that pick card should be in as fast as possible.
Or even,
Yeah.
or you know, it's not even guaranteed that Skinner like falls to us at 42.
I think Skinner at 13 would be pretty crazy.
No. I'm not saying we should take him in
Skinner
the
at
first, but
13 is a bit high.
I'm saying maybe in the second round we could trade up for him.
Or
if
trade back
Branch
into the
is not
first
there.
for Skinner, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way. The safety class is also kind of deep too. There's another like
It is.
there are
There's some good
it's
safeties.
Skinner,
there.
it's Antonio Johnson,
Jordan
it's,
Battle's another.
Jordan Battle and Jamie Robinson.
Sidney Brown.
Sidney Brown is terrible, but I'd be okay
Yeah,
with
he is
that.
terrible. Yeah.
But in reality, like Brian Branch is like the top of my Packers big board right now. It's him.
Yeah, same
it's
here.
It's him.
Same
It's
here.
JSN. It's Cansey. Those are the 3 guys where if they take them, I'd be
Yep.
jumping
Mine
for
too.
joy in the live stream. I'd be going nuts. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think something that's also worth discussing. Talking about the draft and the Rodgers trade. Okay. Do we think that
Yeah.
Brian Gutekunst is okay? I think
I was gonna ask that.
Gutekunst
I was gonna
is
ask that.
slightly overhated. I don't think he's done that bad of a job. I think that this was delayed, but he got an absolute banger of a deal from the Jets.
This is a rare.
I
W
don't
from
care
Gutekunst.
how long it took. right?
He did it.
And
He
in
did his
reality,
job.
Goody hasn't had to do much because he's always had Aaron Rodgers. So like,
I mean,
I think he's overhated. I don't think he's that great, but I think people are like, he's the worst GM in the NFL. Like, no,
I'm not putting him as the
he is
worst GM
not.
in the NFL.
Yeah,
But like he has some terrible draft mistakes that I will give Goody some blame at.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like okay, every NFL GM can miss on stuff. But then again, but then Goody has done some blatant draft misses, and I'm like, dog, what are you doing with those picks? But the Rodgers trade is probably the one rare thing I'll give Brian Gutekunst the W. He actually did a really good job with that. As someone that's been very critical and very critical of Brian Gutekunst, and someone that's always hated Mark Murphy from the beginning, this is a good job by Brian Gutekunst on this part.
Let's say that like Aaron Rodgers spent his whole career on the Cardinals, and they were trading him. Do you think they're getting what we got back? Probably not, right? No. Not with that Cardinals front office.
No.
I think there's plenty worse than Goot. I think he gets a lot of shit because mostly also because the Packers are not owned technically.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's okay. This has been my question for so long. Like, who can fire Brian Gutekunst?
I think he just runs out like it's a contract thing. Like he can only stay for so long.
I think so too.
Right, but who is in charge of like?
Isn't it Mark? I think Mark Murphy is the one that controls.
Murphy the one who's in charge of signing him to a contract?
I think so. I think like the organization structural, and I've actually read this regarding the Packers organizational structure. I believe like there's not a clear structure, but I do know that Mark Murphy's at the very top. Like he's at the very top. I think he's the president, owner, CEO of this team. I think every single thing goes to Mark Murphy. And the organizational structure for the Packers, I was one time reading, and I probably remember it's not like an actual organizational tree. Like it's kind of like a dysfunction where it's like usually like how you have coaches report to like your general managers and stuff. Well, Matt LaFleur is reporting directly to
and that's why the Packers are always like. Well, that's why the Packers never sign big free agents. They don't have
exactly because like there's no organizational structure there, and it's just
like the Cowboys have Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones things, rambling about players, and they're like, okay, we'll get him. Fine, Jerry, just stop talking.
Yeah,
you know, like fine, Jerry, we'll go get this guy. Like we'll go trade for Brandon Cooks.
Even in the last regime though, like they weren't very free agent heavy either.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And this was still when Mark Murphy was on the team. Like he was still CEO, even when we had Ted Thompson as our general manager. Yeah. So like I just think because like I think it's just there's not a clear organizational structure. It's just Matt LaFleur is reporting directly to Mark Murphy. It doesn't because usually from a normal NFL team, the head coach reports to the general manager, and then the general manager reports to the president of operations and all that stuff, and then CEO, which is Mark Murphy. So like it really should be Matt LaFleur to Brian Gutekunst, and then Brian Gutekunst to Mark Murphy. There's not a clear organizational structure with Green Bay.
I could be wrong, but like I think the last like super big free agent signing might have been Charles Woodson that we did.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep, exactly. And it's been a long time. And that's kind of been another thing I've been wanting to ask you guys. The fact that this Packers team has been like kind of stuck to its conservative roots, do you felt like them not being that aggressive has kind of held this team back during the Rodgers era at times? I want to hear your take on this.
I mean, I definitely think it has at some point, but also like I think Ted Thompson and Brian Gutekunst both kind of did I have Aaron Rodgers thing. You know, like Rodgers, you never needed to get him a receiver. You know, because as much as he may whine and complain about it, he turned whatever guys into superstars. Like Jordy Nelson was not supposed to be a good player. Devontae Adams was not supposed to be a good player. They're fantastic players, and they were fantastic players because Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. You know,
right?
And I also think that I don't know, like they still made the NFC Championship like a lot of years, and they made the playoffs every single year except for like one of Rodgers was hurting last year. Like maybe it's holding maybe like another player would have gotten them over the hump. but like
I
I really
was
think
so unlucky, man.
like I really think that like the Bucks game, stupid pass interference call. Probably shouldn't have lost that one. 49ers
Yeah.
somehow came in and beat us on our home turf in the divisional round in the snow. I still don't know what that game was a fever dream to me. That happened on my birthday. It was terrifying. That game,
I'm
don't know
sorry,
what
dude.
happened there. The Falcons absolute beatdown of us in 2016. That was probably just a fluke. The
Yeah.
Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald somehow did that thing where he ran like 87 yards
And
against us.
Rodgers was pulling
Whatever.
some straight up
And
heroics.
yeah,
We were not supposed to win
and
that game.
Rodgers completed a Hail Mary to Jeff Janis in that game. Like
Yeah, and nobody knew who Jeff Janis was. And then after that, nobody heard of this man's name.
literally, none of this has ever been Rodgers' fault.
It really hasn't. And like I'm getting so sick and tired of people having to blame Rodgers. I do understand 2021 when we lost to San Fran in our home turf. I could see why people would blame it on Rodgers. I think Rodgers possibly
Dude.
could have done something, but even then, our special teams blundered.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, we let them return every kick past midfield, and they blocked a punt for a touchdown. Like
it was a special teams.
They didn't
blunder.
They didn't score a touchdown on offense.
They did not.
They didn't score a touchdown on offense. We scored a touchdown on offense. Rodgers drove the team down the field and scored a touchdown on offense. All Corey Bojorquez had to do was punt a football, and he just didn't. So
that's what he
scored a touchdown. I hated that guy so much.
I was like, what are we doing? And then 2014 had me so mad because Rodgers did his thing. And then the defense started to choke in the second half. And then the special teams blunder with Brandon Bostic, who I still get nightmares of having to watch. If he would just not muff that punt, we would have went to the Super Bowl. And we could have gotten a game against New England that year. Even though I probably feel like we might have lost that Super Bowl if we did play New England in 2014, but we probably would have gotten a game. Just like how the Seahawks did. Yeah. And like it literally Rodgers' playoff losses, it was just so unlucky, man. Like it was the most unluckiest thing ever. And then yet the dude gets slandered for it. And I kind of hate it myself that I have to live by it. But I mean, at some point an offense can do so much.
The other side's got to step up. Speaking on the, like, we never need to pick receivers. Like, I don't know if everyone knows, like, the Sports Illustrated cover, like, is like 5 receivers and then Aaron Rodgers in the middle. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like the perfect pack or whatever. That was pretty early on in Rodgers' career. Like,
that was so early.
I don't feel like they needed, like, early, especially early on. And those guys stuck around for a while. I don't feel like they really needed to just like go ham on receiver in the first round every time. And think if they did instead of guys like, I don't know, Clay Matthews, instead of guys like fucking, I'm trying to think right now, just legendary Packers defensive players that we might have taken in the first round. I don't know where Sam Shields was taken, but just imagine with the receiver there. He was an awesome corner. Like, I don't know. I feel like they did what they could. It's hindsight's always 2020. That's my take.
Yeah. I think like holding him back. I don't know because like last year, I'm not really sure how much Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave could have fixed whatever the Packers were last year. Like, sure. I mean, Quay Walker was terrible, and Devontae Wyatt was.
I didn't like those two picks personally.
But you can see the vision there, right? Because it's just like Rodgers is a quarterback. I think also something that they considered and probably talked about a lot is that like Rodgers is a quarterback who is built a lot on chemistry and like how much he likes his receivers. Like a big part of the reason why Devontae Adams was as good as he was for the Packers is because Rodgers just really liked him and they were friends, right? And like you see Rodgers like shaking his head and like growling at like the rookie receivers who drop passes, or the Marquez Valdez-Scantling in that one Niners game who dropped a wide open touchdown, or like Watson in the first game against the Vikings. Like if you're not Rodgers' friend, if you drop a pass, you're not seeing the ball for the rest of the game, right? Like that's just how it works. And so, why draft a bunch of first-round wide receivers who are going to drop a lot of passes for a guy who's just going to be like, no more football for you.
Garrett Wilson's going to be so pissed when they sign Randall Cobb and he leads the team in receptions.
Literally, like Al Lazard's going to go for like 1,000 next year.
And then rip the fantasy football community out there that's been investing in Garrett Wilson so hard.
I mean, Garrett Wilson could be the best receiver in the NFL next year with Aaron Rodgers.
Good.
I'm calling the
15
Devon.
Bro,
I'm calling him the next
1,500
Devontae
yards.
Adams.
Bro, 1,500 yards with Mike White, Joe Flacco, and Zach Wilson, bro.
Yeah,
You
next
put
Devontae
him
Adams.
with
I'm calling it.
Rodgers. Wilson's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
be like
going ballistic.
Wilson's gonna do the Mike Evans perennial 1,000-yard season thing.
Yeah, and it's just we're gonna see the next Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson. It's kind of wild as I'm saying this, but that's what we're gonna see.
I think they're different players.
That's an interesting question. How much longer do you guys think Rodgers sticks around?
2 years.
I'd say I give it 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It's not a 1 year thing.
I think that if they say they make the AFC Championship his second year and lose, I think he's probably coming back after that.
You don't think it's coming back?
I think. Imagine this: the Jets trade up. Okay, next year's draft with all the quarterbacks, the Jets trade up and draft one to sit behind him, and he gets pissed off again.
And he wins MVP, and they go to the playoffs.
The cycle just continues.
It does.
Now, I will say, I've seen this thing. Do you think the Jets defense that they have right now, do you think it's better than any of the defenses that the Packers have had during the Rodgers era? Probably.
Super Bowl.
This defense, I think, might, besides the 2011 Super Bowl and maybe a few years before and after that, I think this defense would be the best defense Rodgers ever played with if it was a Packers defense. It's certainly up there. That 2011 defense was sick. That's an exception.
Defense. I love
that defense was sick.
Charles
that was an awesome defense.
Sam
Shields.
Shields.
Oh, what's his name? What's that one safety's name? He wore 36.
I think.
No, the other guy. He had a pick in the Steelers game, I think. It was Nick something. Nick.
You're on to something. Hold up.
Nick.
I'm going on Sports Reference right now.
Oh my gosh. Nick Scott?
I don't know. Nick Scott was the first name I thought of, but Nick Scott plays for the Rams right now.
It's not Nick Scott. Fuck.
Nick. It's Nick something. That dude had a sick pick against the Steelers in the Super Bowl that I remember watching as a kid.
Steven's got to Google.
That was.
Let's go.
That was Jordy and Donald Driver.
Donald Driver, James Jones.
Was Greg Jennings there? He was there.
Greg Jennings was also there.
Nick Collins, by the way.
Nick Collins. There you go. There we go.
Yeah, him, Sam Shields,
Collins.
Woodson, Clay Matthews.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I mean that defense was stacked, but this Jets defense is probably number 2 on the list of defense that Rodgers has played with.
For sure.
Especially if they bulk it up in the draft.
Don't know if you guys have seen this,
and they can. The Jets can do that for sure.
So long as they don't bring Mason Crosby back, everyone from that Super Bowl roster is gone.
Yeah.
Is Crosby a free agent right now?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
probably his time as well.
I think it's over for him. He's gone. He's probably gone.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm glad that they survived this long. I mean, it's been 12 years at this point.
12 years, yeah.
Rodgers.
Yeah, that's depressing, man.
He's gonna finish his career with 3 rings. That's crazy. That's crazy. If he wins back-to-back years for the Jets somehow, I don't know what I would do. I would go crazy.
I think if he does win back-to-back with the Jets, then I think people would stop with their whole opinions about Rodgers being the whole choker, and then they'll probably go to the Packers.
What they'll do is they'll be like, "Oh, he had to join the stacked team to win the Super Bowl."
He had
to
get Stafford room.
He had to go to the top 5 defense and the weapons. Oh, boo-hoo. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Why wouldn't he want to do that?
Exactly. I guarantee you Mahomes at a later point in his career is going to
but when Brady did it with the Bucs, everyone was like, "Oh, he's the GOAT. Look at him. Oh, he did it.
There you go.
He did it again."
Come on now. I don't get it, man.
I don't get it. Theoretically, if Rodgers wins 2 more Super Bowls, is there still a GOAT debate?
Ooh.
No, still Brady?
I don't think.
Not Rodgers is not sniffing it.
It's so tough because I want to say it so badly.
I do too, but I'm not going to.
I think about this like Braun and MJ. Braun only has 4 rings, but
right. But
I will say maybe because
LeBron's
2 of Brady's
championship
Super Bowls
team
was defense.
terrible. Like the one Cavs team that he won with was just like god awful. Like the 2011 team was stacked, and these teams are stacked that he'd be winning with the Jets. Like
when have Brady's teams not been stacked?
Brady's always had an elite defense.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. 3 rings, I definitely entertain the conversation if he ended with 3 rings, but he won't.
Yeah.
I mean, he won't.
Mahomes is coming for that GOAT combo, though. I'll take that.
Yeah,
he's already in it. He's already the most talented quarterback.
And he'll get there.
2 rings, 2 MVPs, the most talented quarterback to ever play the sport.
Yeah,
like 50 touchdown season. He's already there. But
in this debut, Mahomes is ridiculous, dog. And listen, man, I'll be a Mahomes enjoyer because he says Aaron Rodgers is his favorite player growing up. There you go. That right there is valid.
When that Mahomes contract is up and the Packers sign him, it's going to be chills, bro.
It's going to be so much chills, and it's going to be scary. Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. They're going to run out there with
the NFC North
packages.
is going to be in shambles. Oh, man. Dog, I'm telling you. Yeah, I hope Rodgers wins, man. Because, like, I'm tired of, like, this whole stuff. Because then also we have Mike McCarthy all these years.
That's so
that dude.
That's another thing is Brady had Belichick. So
and yet Rodgers should be the one taking over the hump. Like, you're not gonna win with great coaching. And I'm not trying to knock Patrick Mahomes, but he's had Andy Reid. Coaching matters. And I'm not discrediting Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is indeed him. And Patrick Mahomes had himself those games, and Patrick Mahomes is the reason why the Chiefs are the team they are right now. But I will give the coaching the advantage to Mahomes than Rodgers. The Packers after that Super Bowl, they should have been what the Chiefs are right now.
It's also a little bit on Rodgers for being a little bit too homey, I like my guy. Let's keep him for the next 5 years, even though we don't.
Yeah,
like McCarthy was probably there way too long.
He was.
I mean, kind of continuing conversations about next year's Packers. Yeah. Listen, man. I don't know about you guys, but I am not the biggest fan of Matt LaFleur.
I'm not either.
I'm not.
He's fine.
I think he might be the most overrated coach in the NFL.
Oh, for sure.
He's
overrated. There are a couple guys who have an argument, but I think he's probably like a top 3 overrated coach in the NFL.
Yeah, his coaching staff is overrated in my opinion.
There were literally graphics
Rich.
Like during last season that were like, is Matt LaFleur the greatest offensive mind in the NFL right now? Like, no, he's not the greatest offensive mind in the NFL right now.
It's fucking Rodgers.
Like, are you watching the Packers? Like, this is if you think that there's a genius behind this offense, you got something. You got another thing coming.
I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's like a B tier coach.
Yeah, B tier, and then people want to act like he's a top 5 coach in football.
It's just like I feel like there were better hires.
There were, yeah.
And then of course they had to go 13-4 both years. His first 2 years, everyone was like, look at him, he's 26-8. Like,
yeah, I'm like, dude, like the team needed a new voice, and Matt LaFleur was there, and he did what he did, but he's not good.
His real test is next year.
Yeah, if Jordan Love comes out and stinks,
then we're gonna know how
he has shown. Like if he shows no development from the day he stepped on the field the first time, we got issues. But he did already. In the Eagles game, he already showed that he was better. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess expanding the conversation more in depth about Jordan Love. I know we haven't seen much of the guy, but what do we think is like realistically best case scenario for Jordan Love next year? Because me personally, it's like he's an average starter. He throws like he throws like 3,500 yards and like 25 to 30 touchdowns, 7 or 8 picks.
I tweeted this. I really think his floor is like a Baker Mayfield type quarterback,
which is not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing for a guy that's
really inside the Baker Mayfield or like Saints Jameis Winston to me. I had to specify the Saints.
Yeah, but dude, like his arm is like legitimately good.
Yeah.
He's had a good arm even in college. The accuracy was what needed to be fixed from him.
Like even just like watching like his first game against the Chiefs and then watching the quarter or so he played against the Eagles, like there's such a difference in that.
Yeah.
And the problem is if he sucks or gets hurt, we got no other option.
Then we draft a quarterback next year. We'll have a top 5
Yeah.
pick.
Or we go for a 7th-rounder Stetson Bennett. I'm kidding.
Yeah, draft Jake Haener, guys. He's a first-round pick.
Oh, fuck. Do not feed Rico nose. Don't bring that racist motherfucker in here.
I'm bringing the Theo that's the Theo Ash.
Jake Haener is legitimately kind of good. I will say.
I like Jake Haener, but I'm
Jake
not
Haener
buying
fan.
QB1.
QB1 for sure.
I'm not buying that.
Him
Rico's
QB,
out of his mind.
He's QB1, DTR is QB2.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Bryce Young is pretty good, but like,
yeah.
Have you guys watched Tanner McKee? I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a very likely scenario tomorrow that Myles Murphy's a Packer. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I'm hoping not.
He's got. There's this pack.
Okay.
You know, Peter Bukowski.
But hear me out. Okay.
What's up?
Let me just put this in your heads. Myles Murphy, developmental guy. Every guy the Packers have drafted in the past 10 years, developmental guy. Most of them have been okay.
Yeah.
Myles Murphy, as stupid as it may seem now, might just work.
I don't know. If the top 3 DBs are there, I'm taking one of those.
Yeah.
Personally.
But assuming that if he does take the Rashawn Gary type of route, because the Rashawn Gary needed some development before he could step on and be freaking amazing that he is right now, that's what you're banking on. But then again, it's just that the Packers are like so high in like their draft position. I don't really see why they would want to take Myles Murphy. They would be stupid if they did. If it was like a lower rounded draft pick, like let's say like pick 27, if we traded down with Buffalo, for example, and Myles Murphy was there and the Packers drafted him, I probably wouldn't mind it. I don't mind it at pick 13 though. I would not want it at pick 13.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just preference of where it wants.
To me,
but then again,
it's DB. It's DB, edge, or tackle, and there's really, and also that guy that you mentioned earlier, Jake. I forgot his name already, but
Ken White.
Yeah, or no. It's the guy that's actually good.
Lucas Van Ness.
Yes, yeah.
That's not what I was talking about. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Cansey?
Yeah, I think you said Cansey.
I'm a big fan of Cansey.
If it's not Cansey, and it's not a DB, and it's not a tackle, I don't know, man.
I think we're going tackle at 13.
I feel like it's a miss. if it's not either of those 3 things.
Yeah, I definitely think you're correct about that.
It's going to be a miss either.
Tight end at 13 is crazy.
Yeah, because that's a bit of a reach.
And
not gonna
if Jason's there, you take him also. But
yeah. But then again, I just don't trust the Packers taking wide receiver in the first round. We have not drafted a wide receiver in the first round since 2002. That's during the Favre days. Haven't drafted a wide receiver since 2002.
Also, that guy wasn't very good. I don't know if you guys looked that up or not. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. I remember this one. I remember 2013. This was the draft DeAndre Hopkins went. I remember we took a D tackle, and the pick right after was Houston, and they took DeAndre Hopkins. And that D tackle we took was like out of the league in like 3 years or so, 4 years or so. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but we drafted a D tackle, and then the pick right after DeAndre Hopkins went. I was like, crap. But I don't know. It would have been pretty cool though if we did had Hop in our DeAndre Hopkins in that team. That would have been pretty cool. But we did. But now going back to Brian Gutekunst, and talking because like I wanted to talk about like the draft misses he's had.
Dayton Jones
last year.
Sorry,
you said what?
Dayton Jones.
Oh, that was
Dayton Jones. I remember that. Yeah, that's his name.
He has 10 sacks in his career, by the way. Okay, you can go. Go ahead.
He did something. But going back to like Brian Gutekunst, like the draft misses this dude's had. Like he gets my only thing with Gutekunst is the drafting. I don't mind him like doing other stuff. The Rodgers trade, like he handled that perfectly. I love what we got from him. That's a rare Gutekunst W. Drafting is where my biggest concerns are. I mean, some of the misses that I can think of. This dude took Josh Myers, who was the literal definition of mediocre, over Creed Humphrey. I was not happy with that pick personally.
Myers
And
is
then
fine.
He's fine, but mid. He's the Kirk Cousins of centers.
To be honest, at center though, there's not really like a lot of elite centers. You have Corey Linsley, you have Creed Humphrey, Lindstrom, or is Lindstrom a guard? Shit.
Jason guard.
You have
Jason Kelsey.
Jason
Kelsey, yeah. There's
Frank
a short
Ragnow.
list there. I think you would take mid. I think mid's fine. Like obviously you'd rather have Creed Humphrey, but mid is fine.
By the way, would you? I feel like that's true, but then again, like Creed Humphrey was there, and we took Myers before Humphrey. And Creed Humphrey's one of the best.
I wasn't really heavy into the draft process. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
So I can't say too much, but
yeah, we took that draft. We took Myers before Creed Humphrey, which, by the way, that kind of leaves me regarding Josh Myers. If do you think it would be a good idea if the Packers were to bring competition in for center for Josh Myers in the later rounds?
I don't think they should spend high capital on it, but a guy I really like is his name's Alex Forsyth out of Oregon this year. He'll probably be available in the 7th, and I think Juice Scruggs would be cool. I think Whippler, if he falls, would be cool.
Yeah.
I think what's his name?
Joe Tippmann?
Tippmann would be okay. He's a Wisconsin guy. They probably like him a good bit. Steve Avila, who plays guard and center, and Steve Avila plays every single position on the offensive line.
If we snag Avila,
that's such a Packer pick right there. Like look at Elton Jenkins.
The dude's a great right guard. Also, he has like 1,000 snaps center under his belt. One of the most versatile offensive line piece in the draft. I think if we snag him in the second, like later second, which I think is definitely a possibility, I would not hate that at all.
I would not either.
The offensive line in general needs help, and you can plug him in literally anywhere, especially like if a guy gets injured, like Bakhtiari will.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it at 42. Really.
Avila, 42, 45, wherever. I don't really care, but like he
Packers kind of do need to fix that offensive line because that's not getting any younger.
And you need like right now, like John Running's the right guard. That's where Avila plays. I would definitely.
I'm plugging Avila in for Runyon.
Josh Myers is the center. Steve Avila can play center if he's better than him.
I'm
Josh
plugging
Nyman's the right tackle. Josh Nyman, see you later.
Josh Nyman's fucking bad. I don't.
Nyman's bad. It's literally just Elton Jenkins is the only consistently healthy, good offensive lineman we have. Bakhtiari is good, not consistently healthy. He's old, right?
Yeah, Bakhtiari is getting old. We got to replace him.
He's probably gonna do a peaceful protest and not play because Rodgers is gone. Be like, trade me to the Jets.
I mean, hey, the Jets could solve their tackle issue if they do trade for Bakhtiari, but then you have to take on his contract, which is another issue.
I don't know if you guys watched him on Bustin' with the Boys, but he's like, I don't really care. I'd be fine spending my career with the Packers, but if they don't want me, then they don't want me, and that's it.
I saw that clip.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame him, to be honest with you. I mean, the Packers did that. I mean, Packers do have a history with that with some of their former players. I'm not gonna lie. I will say that.
Lots of offensive linemen: Bulaga, Linsley. I miss Bulaga.
Yeah.
Sick ass name too.
I do like Zach Tom though. I think he's got some. He's got. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, he was all right.
I like his potential though. I think he can do something.
He played good for where he was drafted.
Yeah,
where he was drafted, for sure. I would not hate if they brought competition in for Josh Myers, because, I don't think he's gonna get any better, and really, and then obviously offensive line wise, Packers have to fix that. This is not a this, and it's not just offensive line, but this is a roster like it's kind of full of age veterans that are probably starting to age out, and Preston's not getting any younger. I mean, the Packers might have to be quick, and they got to be serious about like, you know, addressing the future for this franchise. Like they got to be quick about it, and they got to realize that. Listen, hey, look, the linebackers are not getting any younger.
No, but like
And
this is like again, there's like a deep linebacker class too.
that's
Like
true. Yeah,
there's Sanders and Sewell and Campbell
I can see us
Deion
and
taking a
Henley's another.
linebacker third.
there's
I hope not the third right beside Nicholas.
There's a ton of different guys. There's Owen Popo. That class is deep. The edge class is deep. The defensive tackle
Yeah,
class is deep. Like Kalijah Kancey would be fun, yeah, but also there's like Kobe Turner and Moro Jomo and a bunch of different guys there. And the edge class is like sure, like Nolan Smith would be fun, but also there's Tamiwa Adebawore and Felix
yeah,
Anudike Uzama and BG Ojulari and Will McDonald and a
yeah,
bunch of different guys. And also like taking a pure edge rusher, it might not be the best choice for the Packers. Like either Lucas Van Ness is a lot better of a choice because of his versatility in the defensive line. You know, like Kenny
yeah,
Clark can line up anywhere on a 3-4 defense. He can play anywhere you want.
yeah,
So if you want Lucas Van Ness inside, he plays inside. You want him on the edge, you put him on the edge. But also Kancey can do the same thing. Kancey works very well as a 3-4 edge because of his size. And
hmm
Kancey, Gary, Clark,
yeah.
defensive line.
And
That
then whatever Devontae Wyatt
telling you
is.
what. Telling you what, man. I wouldn't be mad.
I would not be mad either. You
I
need
don't.
to have a really good defensive line. Like like if you're, this is a part of the team building is trenches.
Especially
You
when
gotta-
like only one team in our division has a good offensive line right now. So,
that is the
like,
Detroit Lions.
Here's what I'll say: this class is deep in a lot of areas that we need. So it'd be a little bit. I think it'd be a little bit difficult to fuck it up completely.
yeah, like even like wide receiver, like you can get a guy in the third or fourth that's gonna be completely fine.
Like I mocked Xavier Hutchinson in one of my mocks, and I love Xavier Hutchinson, dog, dude. Very
Yeah.
physical. Shit, I mean, great after the catch. He's, I mean, like lengthy. So I mocked Xavier Hutchinson there, in one of my mocks. So like pick 13 because that's like, that's tomorrow. They're gonna announce this tomorrow.
Yep.
Who do you think the Packers pick at that thing at pick 13?
It really depends who's there. Hopefully Brian Branch. If it's not Brian Branch, I don't know. I think that is the go-to pick. So, I mean, we've struggled in the slot like the last 2 years with our defense, 3 years.
Yeah.
He's the pick.
What about you, Jake?
I really want JSN, man. I want that dude so badly. I mean, like that the man is literally always open. And
Yeah.
I just think that if the argument that you would make for drafting a tight end is just the argument for JSN. Like, you want a safety blanket for Jordan Love, you get JSN. We don't have like a slot guy right now.
We don't.
We don't have a guy in the slot, and JSN is the best in the business.
Romeo can
Like,
play slot, but
yeah, but do we want him playing slot?
he's more.
I
He's
don't.
more of an
I do
X.
not want Romeo in
He's
the
more
slot.
of an X, right? You want to put JSN in the slot. JSN and Branch are like 1A and 1B on my big board for 13. One of those two guys is there. If both those guys are there, chances are pretty low that both of them are. But if both of them are, and they don't take either of them, I don't know what I would do.
I'd be pretty disappointed.
But
Yeah.
if Branch is there and they pass on him, I'm taking that as an L because I don't see any reasoning for looking at a guy like Branch and looking at the team's needs. He literally fills like 3 different needs at the same time for the Packers. He can play in the box as like a linebacker. We need a linebacker. He can play in the slot as a corner. We need a slot corner. He can play traditional one high safety. We need that. Like Branch, like literally fills 3 needs with one player, and I just don't understand the logic behind passing on him if they do. I wouldn't get it.
I love me a versatile safety, and I mean, Brian Branch is my first priority because I'm not trusting Rudy Ford to be my number 1 safety at this point. And Adrian
played pretty well.
He played well.
There's a reason why he's there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not trusting in Darnell Savage. I think he's a free agent at this moment.
No,
Is he?
it's on the Packers.
They signed
Oh, he's
him.
still there? Okay. He's still on the team. Okay. Yeah, I'm not confident in Darnell Savage personally. Amos, he's a free agent. That I know for sure. I don't even think he returns to Green Bay.
He's not coming back. No.
He's not coming back. His time's up. So, like, you got to fill that safety
He had a
need.
bad year last year.
And, yeah. Yeah. You got to fill that need. So, yeah, Brian Branch, that's my number one pick. And then, obviously, number 2, JSN. Number 3 for me, probably I might go Kalijah Cancer Van Ness, but I kind of want to get tackle here. And the Packers could be in position to get one of the premium
I'm
tackles.
like Anton Harrison, Darnell Wright, Paris
Darnell
Johnson
Wright.
Jr., any of those guys I'd be happy with.
Paris Johnson Jr., Broderick Jones is another. I mean, the
One
Packers
of the
could take one.
tackles will be there.
One of the tackles can be there.
There's
So,
like,
like, I
what,
think
like 7 of them that could go in the first round. Like one of them will be there at 13. If they want to,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I think that, like, I think where you're gonna probably see the tackles getting taken is like probably at pick 10 and then afterwards. I don't think any of the Skronsky, probably not my ideal choice. I would probably want
but his
some, like,
versatility also offers a little bit.
that is true.
Honestly, I see the fit with him on the Falcons, but that's a different story.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, but yeah, I think tackle is another, because that's another position of need, and Packers kind of do need to address that as soon as possible. And if you can get one elite Doran, I personally wouldn't be upset. But even though that's my second option, my 1A, 1B is Branch and JSN as well. So I'm with you guys. Like, yeah, Branch, JSN, either one of these two, Green Bay, you got to pull the trigger. And then pretty much the draft's coming up. How do you guys feel about this roster as of this moment? Like,
That's okay.
do you think
I
do
don't
you
think it's
think we
terrible.
play?
Depending on Jordan Love's play, they could win like 9 or 10 games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
can see it. I can see it.
I
We
could
flip
see it
Chiefs,
too.
which would be fun.
I just hate our coaching staff besides Rich Bisaccia.
There are worse coaches than Matt LaFleur.
Yeah,
That is true. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to be the one that's going
And-
to complain. So
I would
I'm
say
not
there's probably
complaining.
worse defensive coordinators than Joe Barry, although he's shit. There's still probably worse ones than him.
Yeah.
Like, that have a job currently. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an
Yeah.
average coaching staff. It's an average
It's
roster.
average.
You can expect about an average record, from 8 to 10 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's average. That's probably what I'm giving to them. Offense wise, like as of this moment, Aaron Jones is our best player right now. Do you
Yeah.
think he's on a 1-year deal? Do you think he's gonna return after next season, or do you think they're gonna roll the chains on AJ Dillon? Because AJ Dillon is a free agent after next year.
No, I think they let them both walk.
Yeah.
To be honest.
They're
On
gonna
the
let both.
Aaron Jones is
Five
going to be
room.
30, and AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
I mean, all he offers is like he's literally just a power back. Granted, one of the best power backs in the league, but he offers nothing besides running forward.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So I literally think they go draft and sign. Whoever
They'll probably draft one, like not this draft, but probably the year after.
I could
they're
see
probably
I could see a late pick from them this year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a late pick might not be a bad idea.
Mo Ibrahim or Eric Gray or something like that. Dwayne
Or-
McBride.
Yeah,
I could see that.
I could see it too if they do. Because I mean, yeah, because this probably might be Aaron
Damian
Jones'
Thomas.
last year in Green Bay.
They've had fucking Patrick Taylor on the practice squad for like 5 years. Feels like.
And that
They
dude's
have,
been a
yeah.
special teamers. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be sad if AJ Dillon ends up leaving. Like
I think
he's one of my favorite.
I think
He's one of my favorite Packers.
He's going. I think he's going, and I'm just going to predict that now he's going to Arizona.
Arizona or Miami, probably.
Probably Miami. I could see Miami doing it. I had a Saints fan tell me that he wants AJ Dillon. I was like, "You want to trade for him?" He was like, do you want the Saints to trade for AJ Dillon? He was like, "What do you want to get him?" And he offered like a fifth rounder, and then like a sixth. I'm like, okay, Dillon hasn't done much. I mean, why not? But yeah, I'm gonna miss. I would like to see the AJ Dillon stay though, personally, because I love him as a person. But then again, like Packers kind of like to get a running back that's a
It,
bit versatile, and
it's
AJ
just
Dillon's
second.
not that.
It's just second contract running back. Like Packers
Yeah,
don't give them out that often. Aaron Jones is literally an anomaly.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. But then Aaron Jones is like so good though. So like, that's the
Yeah.
reason why he got a second contract.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's something the Packers never do. Yeah, given
There's like
running backs.
3 all-time Packers running backs.
Amon Green,
Yeah, Amon
Aaron
Green,
Jones is
Jim
right there.
Taylor, Aaron Jones,
Yeah, there you go.
Eddie Lacy for 2 years.
That dude
God,
was
I
a
miss
dog
that
for a
dude.
while. Yeah.
I miss that dude. But yeah, but like our running backs, like I'm pretty expecting the offense is going to be the same as it was last year. They're going to probably commit to the run a lot more. Maybe you might see Jordan Love get some throws in to get him adjusted to the game flow. Um, I'm not expecting anything huge from Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, just only because of my uncertainties with Jordan Love. I mean, this offense.
Man, speaking of Christian Watson, I'm so sick of the Chase Claypool comparisons. They are driving me off the
Really?
wall. I see them all the time. Oh, Chase Claypool had a
Really?
good rookie year. Like, what do you mean?
Where are you seeing those comparisons from?
Twitter. It's just Twitter.
Yeah.
Dude, send them to me. Oh my god, I'm about to cook those guys. What are we doing?
Who just searched Watson, Claypool.
Who is comparing Christian Watson to Chase Claypool? Like what what fan is that team like? What's the fan base of that team? What fan base is doing it?
Just people, I don't know, they compare the size. They compare the speed. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, physically.
Yeah. Physically, yeah. Oh,
but,
man.
I mean, yeah.
What the hell? I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even understand. I don't understand why, but okay. So apparently Christian wants to gain that comparison. But like I said, I am not going to expect much from Jordan Love when it comes to him. I just want him to go have fun. I'm not going to put too much any expectations and whatnot, how he is as a quarterback. So I kind of probably am going to see the offense do the same thing that they did last year, commit to the run a lot more. The defense, they got to be better. But also we did kind of got banged up last year as well. And what's your guys' stance on Eric Stokes at this very moment? Because I'm seeing a lot of Packers fans like kind of talk about him, and I've seen mixed opinions on him.
I mean, he was fine before he got injured.
He's okay.
He had a really good rookie year, if it means anything.
Yeah.
But his second year, he fell off a little bit, and then he got injured like week 7 and didn't play. So, you can't expect too much from him, but you hope he gets back to that rookie year level. He was pretty good.
He was so good rookie year. Loved it. And I was like, we were hoping him and Jair would come back, and that would be like an amazing that would be a really good corner duo. But it just didn't come to fruition, and he got injured. I'm still kind of holding my hope out for Eric Stokes. Hopefully, he, does something. So I do like his potential, and like him, like he's a good corner too. So
I don't know. I just remember watching the Bucks game and him getting cooked by Cole Beasley on the sideline. Like
I saw, and I was like, "What are we doing?" Yeah, I don't. And then our linebackers too, Devondre Campbell. I think he's getting a little old.
He was an All-Pro 2 years ago. Like, I don't think he's bad.
He's not bad, but I felt like he kind of lost something. I don't know if I want to say that though.
And
Um,
Quay can still grow into a decent linebacker. Not out on him. Unfortunately, we did lose Chris Barnes, who was actually pretty solid.
Chris Barnes was solid. Quay Walker, I did not like the pick originally. He kind of has stepped up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, later into the season, he just needs to get the boneheaded like mistakes out of him, and then Quay Walker can be pretty like that's all I ask from him. But he's kind of stepped up a bit, although like I mentioned again, Brian Gutekunst and his draft misses. The Kobe Dean was the linebacker one. Not keeping granted, I kind of understand why Dean fell because he had a pec injury, but Leo Chenal was right there. Leo Chenal would have done what you asked Quay Walker to do a lot better. And then Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, George Karlaftis right there. Could
We
have
still don't
taken
know
Karlaftis.
why it could be. He basically didn't even play his rookie year. He played like 15% of the snaps, not even.
Yeah, he did not play that much.
He didn't play that much. But that's because like they had
He's like
what's
an
they had
NBA
Hassan
rookie,
Reddick.
bro.
Yeah. They had a what?
Yeah.
They had Hassan Reddick and TJ Edwards and Kaiser White too. So I mean, the Eagles like they were kind of loaded with linebackers that year, last year. Um, and then literally, I think like with me with the Packers, I kind of see the 6 to 8 wins type of thing. Before I was not high on the Packers. I thought 5 wins, considering like how our opponents were. But then after looking more into it, I can probably see the vision maybe 6 to 9 wins probably for the
It
Packers.
just depends on Jordan.
Yep.
It
That's all
really
it is.
does. That's really the only question mark. Is Jordan any good? And we're probably gonna find out in our first game of the season. Um, is Jordan the guy that is he a competent starter? Because that's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for like, oh, like a lot of Packers fans are like, oh, this dude's gonna be like the next Aaron Rodgers. He said 3
Well,
years behind Rodgers. They all of a sudden he's gonna be like the next greatest thing ever. Like, I'm not buying that. That's not how that works.
we'll have an idea on how good he is at least by Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Thanksgiving is probably where I'm right with you on that one. I think Thanksgiving is where we're gonna have the consensus of where we stand with Jordan Love at this point, and then whether if or not the Packers should probably go for a another quarterback in next year's draft class or not. No, but yeah, I mean, next season I'm not really expecting much. Just same thing as it was this year. All I'm just looking forward to next year is Jordan the guy going forward. That's pretty much that's all the question marks that we have. But other than that, I mean, I really don't have nothing much else to talk about. You guys got anything you want to talk about Packers related? And you know,
I think we hit everything.
Yeah, I'm good.
yeah, I think we touched on the pre-draft and then like kind of our expectations for next season and just other Packers talk like the Aaron Rodgers trade, and then going a bit of a throwback session with talking about like our times with Rodgers and memories we'd had. But which, by the way, if Aaron Rodgers were somehow to be listening to the Ham and Takes pod, us three of us would like to send our appreciation, our gratitude that you've done for 18 years of this franchise. You will always be my quarterback forever, and I'm wearing your jersey right now. You're always my favorite player. Obviously, Jake loves you. Steven loves you a lot. What you did, I mean, dog. Aaron Rodgers has been the starting quarterback. Well, has been in the Packers organization since I was 5, and I'm 23 years old. It's been that long. I mean, man. End of an era. Salute to you, Aaron Rodgers. If you're watching, best of luck on New York. Hopefully you win a Super Bowl there. But without further ado, I mean, I think this pretty much concludes this episode. You guys want to plug anything in? I'm pretty sure you guys do have something.
I mean, my question: when does this episode come out, Hammy?
Targeting draft after probably during tomorrow, or if not Friday.
Okay. Well, if you're listening to this tomorrow on Thursday, go listen to the Run the North live stream. Go watch that. We will be we will be live for the entire first round, and then right after that, we're recording an episode with our live reaction, our immediate reactions to every pick in the first round. We'll be uploading that on Friday morning. Other than that, you can follow me at JakeTalksSports 03 everywhere, and
Mhm.
that's about it.
And
I'm NFLSteven everywhere. So no spaces. NFLSteven.
I will obviously link their socials down below, so you guys can go ahead and follow them. And definitely do subscribe to Jake's podcast that he does with my two other boys, Miller Football and the Geek Slice, because
Yes,
that is a
sir.
fun podcast, and I love every single episode. I've watched every single episode, and so should you. So if I tell you, you go watch Run the North, you go watch Run the North. There you go.
Essentially, yes. Yep. Do
Yes,
that.
essentially, whatever Hammy says, you do what Hammy tells you to do. Um, so yeah. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.